whether they can avoid going back to work this afternoon because they've got a dentist appointment.
Well, they can't now because it's been seen on TV, haven't they?
Fantastic. If you just tuned in, London, against all the odds a year ago, has won the right to host the Olympic Games in the year 2012 and becomes the first city ever to host it 3 times. The previous time was just after the war in 1948, and it will be the first city ever to host 3 Olympic Games. It'll be a very, very different one to those post-war, rather austere games. And the hard work starts now, as Matthew Pinsent said, probably time for a beer or two, quite right too. And then Seb Coe has got 7 years to deliver. So we're talking about the fact that his hard work finished. Actually, it had finished because he didn't know the result. Actually, he's got another 7 years.
It all starts again, doesn't it? But the impetus is going to give to young people in sport in this country. I mean, Sebastian Coe mentioned it in the presentation to the IOC delegation, saying how he watched his first Olympics at the age of 12, marched into the school hall. When you think of all the young people who are watching these glorious scenes, thinking, I can be there, I can compete.
We're going to be in a press conference.
Dame Kelly Holmes.
You know, fingers crossed, God willing, we'll be in a press conference in 2012 and somebody from Britain will have won a gold medal and they will say, I was watching TV the day the announcement came and I was going to win a gold medal.
I've got a 12-year-old boy who's competing in his school sports day this afternoon.
Fantastic.
Seriously. Yeah.
And at what event?
Oh,
Eggensport.
Strangely, 4x4.
4x4?
Discus.
Yeah.
4x4 discus.
The 4x4 discus. Jav.
Yeah.
And about 3 other events as well.
Fantastic.
But,
multi-talented.
And it's 7 years away. Hey, he'll be 19.
So the hard work starts in 2 fronts.
I might want to fix up an interview for you in 7 years' time.
You're going to put a wager on.
Yeah.
We'll get Wally back on the phone, see what odds.
But joking apart, I mean, boy, if you're promising 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 14, 16-year-old, you know, suddenly for the first time ever, you're going to feel as if, hey, we're serious.
Absolutely.
Everybody's behind us. You know, we're going to open our arms to sport in this country now.
Absolutely.
As you say, anyone between the ages of, say, 11 and, you know, sort of 24, 25 can think, I could win a medal.
Hey, Mark, it's a comeback time.
Yeah,
comeback time.
It's never too old. And for Paris, I mean, they you know, we don't know for certain, but they did nothing wrong, it appeared. I mean, from what we saw, the presentation
and
was.
again, we don't know, we're surmising here, but we've surmised pretty well so far. So I just feel that just possibly they thought they'd done enough.
Yeah.
They thought they'd done enough, and they got caught on the line. As simple as that. I think everybody, including the IOC, felt that it was in the bag for Paris. It needed something special. It needed a superhuman sprint for the finish, and we poured out everything, didn't we?
To be honest, I don't think it's a failing of the Paris bid at all, because it was an excellent bid. You know, you saw the in terms of technical expertise, in terms of the facilities, the infrastructure, it was all there. Yeah. The evaluation report gave it a glowing commendation with regards to everything they'd done. It just shows the strength of the London bid, because I think that they absolutely nailed it in every possible division. That they really did, and it's just the strength of the London bid as opposed to where Paris went wrong.
And if you're on the Parisian bid, you're in Singapore, you're thinking, you're rubbing your hands saying, we've got this in the bag, and then you'd see David Beckham turn up, and you see Steve Redgrave, then you see Tony Blair in his London Olympic, and the first seeds of doubt would enter your head.
And that's why we had quotes, you know, using the strong language, saying the very aggressive you know, bidding process, and the way that London were being underhand. We were just using our assets.
And I thought it was a masterstroke as well. Paris went on, tradition. We went on youth, we went on kids.
We went on the future.
Yeah, we did, which is what the London bid is about after all. It's regeneration of a whole area. And the regeneration, you know, we were saying earlier, there are so many advantages that London have got, so many advantages Paris have got, depending, you know, which are the key advantages. Regeneration is I mean, the Olympic movement likes that. They don't just want to have a great Olympic Games, they want to leave a lasting legacy, don't they? And that's clearly what will happen.
And that is important, because if we look back to Sydney, I mean, it was a fantastic site at Homebush, but it was way out of town, and it's a white elephant now, isn't it, really?
Yes, it is.
You know, it's a long way from really the big centres of population, and people go there occasionally, they sort of rather, you know, shuffle about the place, don't they?
It's a trek to get there, isn't it?
So I mean, it's really important that, as you say, that whatever is left behind is used and is easily used. It's easy access for people to be able to use it on a regular basis.
Well, it's in a city area, isn't it?
It is. The Olympic Park will change the social scene, in terms of the economics as well, the amount of employment it's going to create, 11 to 12,000 jobs just in that one area. It's going to leave accommodation for key workers such as nurses and firemen.
Well, I mean, for goodness sake, suddenly we got to give an opportunity for loads of kids in the East End of London to swim, to actually swim.
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, when we were talking about the Finns earlier, let's just cross over to Sweden for a second. When Borg won his first Wimbledon title, within 2 years, every Swedish town of more than about 6,000 inhabitants had an indoor tennis
court. Yep.
You know, so I mean, you can't. It's insurmountable.
Which then spawned, Wilander and Edberg
and Johansson and everybody.
We have to use and build on this momentum that we've gained here and this wonderful result, and it's just the beginning of a great new sporting landscape for this country.
You know your badge which says Candidate City underneath. You can cross out the bit that says Candidate.
Throw that
away. Yeah. And that Paris 2012 badge you were about to put on, you can forget about now, can't you?
And those Parisian relatives you're about to ring and say,
and that baguette we've got, we don't have to take that out now.
Are you genuinely shocked? Or was there 25-30% of you that thought this would happen?
I've got to say I was shocked, simply because I know the IOC, they like cities to reapply, to keep going for the privilege of being the host city. The fact that Paris had part of the infrastructure already in place, or the majority of the infrastructure already in place, their fourth time as well, and London got... we were off the pace to begin with, to be honest. Things weren't going right for the bid team, but then we were gaining the momentum. We were in second place, but did we have enough time? No one knew. And to actually come home and bring the games to the city, just an incredible turnaround of monumental proportions, because I think everyone's heart was with London, but their head said Paris.
You see, I've been having conversations with people in the know who've been telling me even this morning, it's Paris's. Forget about all this. It's Paris's. In the know. I've been talking to people. I know IOC delegates. It's Paris. I thought a fortnight ago we didn't stand a chance. A fortnight ago, I thought a week ago. I think we'll come second. A good second, and
yes, an honourable second. As
yeah,
it would have been, yes.
And the longer, even this morning, my mood's been changing to. Just before they announced it, I still thought Paris, but I thought, I tell you what, I wouldn't want to put my house on it because I think we've got a shout.
You can't discount the incredible work that the bid team has done since they arrived in Singapore. All the ambassadors, the delegates, Tony Blair being there.
It's a demonstration how to work a room, isn't it? Collectively, how to work a room.
I'll tell you what, I'd love to be a fly on the wall when Chirac sees Blair in
I was just thinking about that.
For the first time, hey? Yeah? Yeah? You could, what do you think about lousy English food now?
Cottage pie, sir.
Yes. Sorry, we're being jingoistic here, but, I mean, it's an irony, isn't there?
Fantastic. 54 votes to 50. That's how tight it was. So just a 2-vote swing, really. We don't have the breakdown yet. I'm sure you'll see the breakdown as the day unfolds. It'll be interesting to see exactly where London were as the cities were knocked out. We're just guessing here, but as Ian Mark said, we've guessed quite well today, which makes a nice change, that probably London was second for most of the time. But all that matters, as any athlete will tell you, is where you are when you cross the line. And Sebco, double Olympic champion, has managed to do that once more. So just before we go off air, gents, thank you very much. It's been a fantastic... We'll always remember this day, won't we?
It's been emotional.
It's been emotional.
7 years to go, and what can we expect in 7 years' time then? What should we expect in 7 years' time?
What we should expect is one of the best games ever staged, and real genuine support, love and appreciation of just a wonderful sporting festival.
Fantastic. Ian?
We're going to see, it's a given that we're going to see great sport. I think we're going to see great British sporting achievement, but above all else, and I don't think this is a bad thing, provided it's channeled in the right way, it's actually going to feel really good to be British.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, because this is, and we've stressed it before, this is something for everybody to enjoy. This is not just a London, not just a South East thing. I know on the surface it'll look that way to a lot of people, but it's not that way.
Absolutely, it's not. Honestly, what good does it do us? I live in Carlisle. Believe me, this is great for the country.
Gents, thank you very much indeed. 7 years, hard work to go. Thanks for being with us this morning. London have won the bid. These are the live pictures from Trafalgar Square as we leave you. Bye bye.
Mr. Simon Clegg, the CEO of the British Olympic Association. On the left of President Rogge is Lord Sebastian Coe, President and Chairman of London 2012. And to his left is Tessa Jowell, Olympic Minister. We also have on the podium today Mr. Richard Carrion. He is the IOC Chairman of the Finance Commission, and he joins us today because we will start proceedings with the signing of the host city contract. The host city contract is signed by the International Olympic Committee, by the British Olympic Association, which is the National Olympic Committee of Great Britain, and by the winning city, London. So we will just proceed with this signing before going to comments and press conference and questions. Just for information, the host city contract contains the rights and obligations of the parties as regards the planning, organisation and staging of the Olympic Games. And we'll just wait while those involved sign the contract and then shake hands for a photograph. The contract, for your information, is being signed on behalf of the IOC by the President, Jacques Rogge, and by the Chairman of the IOC's Finance Commission, Mr. Richard Carrion, and on behalf of the City of London by the Mayor, Ken Livingstone, and the British Olympic Association by Mr. Craig Reedy and Mr. Simon Clegg.
You have the third one. I will hold the third one. I believe we have
I would now like to pass the floor to the President of the International Olympic Committee, Jacques Rogge, who will say a few words about today's election. President.
Thank you very much, Giselle. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very glad we could sign this host city contract, because up until now the victory of London was provisional until the signature, and I'm relieved to see that the Mayor has signed. And I'm relieved also for the following reason: this is a contract where the IOC has all the rights and London all the duties. You see behind the table very happy people, and this includes me, because besides London, the International Olympic Committee and the Olympic Games are the winner. I would like to tell you that we are very, very pleased with the victory of London, a high-quality bid, people we trust, people we know will deliver superb games. I must also, of course, also show all my respect and gratitude for Paris, New York, Madrid and Moscow. I understand we who have competed and have been in sport, we know the cruelty of sport, but this is even a more cruel game in that there is only one gold medal and not a gold, a silver and a bronze as we usually award at the Olympic Games. And yes, we understand, of course, the big disappointments of our friends in Paris, our friends in Madrid, in New York and in Moscow. But they should be heartened by the fact that they had a great support throughout the whole series of rounds, and we would hope that as many as possible of them would come back, knowing also that on many occasions a city does not win at the first attempt. We had the examples of Beijing, who tried twice to be successful in a little under 7 years' time, and the same happened with Athens, who was beaten in 1990 and then got the games in 1997. So congratulations to London. We are absolutely delighted, and what pleases me also is the fact that most London winners behind the table have had a long journey with me in the Olympic movement, and I'm thinking back years in the Olympic Games. And if I may tell a little story before giving the floor to the winners, I will never forget that I met Seb Coe for the very first time on the doorsteps of the Olympic restaurant in the Olympic Village in Moscow in 1980, when he had won his gold medal. And I didn't know Seb personally, he didn't know me, but someone introduced us and we started chatting. And Seb, we couldn't have believed at that time that 25 years later we would sign the host city contract. Congratulations, the floor to you.
Mr. President, I will immediately echo your first and proper sentiment to pay tribute to the other bidding cities. This has been a long and arduous and sometimes bruising road. Paris, Madrid, New York and Moscow presented unbelievably good bids. I will also pay tribute to Nawal El-Moutawakel, who chaired the evaluation commission and her visit to all our host cities with aplomb and professionalism. And as a former athlete, she made me feel proud that she was doing such an outstanding job. I wanted to show today in our presentation, our whole team wanted to show in the presentation, that we continue the journey that I think this country started many, many years ago. But this will be in partnership with the International Olympic Committee. I made the point in my presentation this afternoon that I've been uplifted and reassured by the many conversations, the many renewed friendships that has happened to me over the last 2 years of travelling, that there is a massive and common currency in international sport, that there are challenges ahead, and that together I think we can really begin to address some of them. But that's a little way down the road. I would just like to thank my whole team. There are a lot of them here. We started, and in the early days, it was hard pounding. We know that, but we stuck to what we believed. We had a bid that we all believe in, and I'm so grateful, and don't think any of you are going anywhere. And to your colleagues, Mr. President, and to the Olympic family in general, we won't let you down. We are massively privileged and honoured to have been given this opportunity. We want to transform the face of British sport, but we will never forget our international obligations to make sure that young people everywhere have greater opportunity than they currently do to take part in sport. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Seb. May I suggest that I give the floor to my two IOC colleagues who did not vote today. I didn't vote either because, you know, this is the tradition that the President does not vote. but the Princess Royal and Craig Reedy had the privilege and the luxury not to be obliged to vote today. And Your Royal Highness, please.
Well, firstly, Mr. President, you're quite right. My ambition today was not to have to vote. And you're quite right, that was fulfilled. But the end result was even more amazing. We always knew that this was going to be a very close result. You cannot have 5 cities of that quality, the quality of bids that they produced, with expecting to have a very close result. And I had every confidence in the team, and I'm delighted for them that we have succeeded. And I do have every confidence in them for the future. But I have equally to say that because of the quality of all the other bids, I think this is a standard that we've started at, which we're really going to have to maintain. And I have every confidence that we can do that. We appreciate, Mr. President, too, the bidding process and how it's been run and how our colleagues have responded. And it has been a wonderful occasion for the Olympic movement. And I know that London will make you all proud of that decision. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Royal Highness. Congratulations. Craig?
Mr. President, Your Royal Highness, can I echo the words of commiserations and congratulations to the other 4 cities, all of whom contain good friends of mine. From the point of view of the BOA, when we started this road all the way back in 1997, I don't think we ever imagined that we would be able to put together a bid team of such amazing quality. And although Seb gets all the public credit, that team is full of talented people, effectively from all around the world, and they have done wonderfully, wonderfully well. We have been backed up throughout by Ken Livingstone, the Mayor of London, and we have been wonderfully supported by the government, represented here by Tessa Jowell, but I have to say here by the Prime Minister. This is a terrific day for Olympic sport in Britain. We always believed that the best thing we could do for sport in our country was to run a successful London Olympic bid. We now have the opportunity to move forward. I hope it inspires the country, and in particular, like Seb, I hope it inspires our young people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May I now suggest that we come to question time, and I'd like to leave the floor to Giselle, who will moderate. Giselle, please.
Thank you. If you'd be kind enough to raise your hands very high, because it's quite hard to see with the lights against us. And for those of you who have microphones in front, if you press the central button that says micro, be patient and the light does come on. And those of you who are sitting in other areas, there are handheld mics that will be brought to you. And please be kind to tell us who you are, where you come from, and to whom you would like your question addressed. We'll start in the front row. I think I can see Vicky Orbis, if I'm not mistaken. If you just press your microphone once and wait a second, the light will come on.
Hi, that works. Can I ask Seb how it compares with actually winning 2 gold medals in terms of, presumably there's no how does this compare with actually competing and winning gold medals?
I have to say I think this is almost entirely on a different planet. Is that better? I think I said that it was on an entirely different planet. And you know, when I was a part of a fantastic British athletics team and a great British Olympic team, I like to think that we occasionally inspired a few people to take part in sport. But actually having an Olympic Games in your own country. And the opportunity of young people, not just for the 17 days of the competition, but the 7 years in the build-up to that, with all the things that you really can meld onto it, and broader issues than simply sport as well, then I think that we just have a golden opportunity. It's something that I've spent most of my working life trying to do something about, and I suppose this is the biggest vehicle that I could imagine for making those changes, not just domestically but internationally as well. So I think I have to say, I think it is of an entirely different order.
We have a question now from Mihir Bose from the Daily Telegraph, and then we'll go to Wakako from Yomuri Shimbun on the far right with handheld mics, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Giselle. Seb, a number of IOC members we have spoken to have said that this very close vote was turned by your performance today and your leadership. I just want to take you back to November 2002, when my paper not only launched the campaign for the bid but suggested you should be the bid leader. How did you feel then that you would be in this position?
I'm awfully sorry, I'm just going
No, you turned it off.
Mihir, I'm afraid I just didn't hear the question.
Sorry, gentlemen, we're having some troubles with the sound.
He's asking how do you feel now compared to November 2002 when you were proposed to get leadership?
Can you do it again? Can you hear me now? Seb, can you hear me now?
I can, yes. In fact, the President very kindly told me what you'd asked me, Mihir. I always felt that London had an outstanding chance of taking the prize, as long as we decided what it really was that we wanted to say about ourselves and what it was we really wanted to achieve. And it was my natural instinct to make our strategy based around sport, about getting more young people into Olympic sport, not only domestically but internationally. And I felt that if we were able to establish very clearly, both domestically and within the international Olympic family more generally, I thought we would have a good chance. But this has been a very closely fought campaign. Every bidding city has wanted a stage for the Games for the very best of reasons. I decided that this was really what I think spoke most loudly about us as a nation. And that is what we did. And it's far easier to follow a strategy and a campaign that you believe in.
Okay. If it would help us enormously, ladies and gentlemen of the media and other guests who are in this room, if you could keep the noise levels, especially at the back of the room, down so that the top table can hear a bit better. We're going to go next to Wakako from Yomuri Shimbun, David Miller, and across to the left-hand side of the room. Wakako, please.
Wakako Yuki from Yomuri Shimbun over here. Lord Cole, this is a question to you. Can you hear me, sir? Hello? Thank you. You once stood against the boycott, and then you once stood against the amateurism. Do you think this was the hardest for you? And I understand you'll be taking up the role as the organizing committee chairman from now on. What is your bosom feeling toward it?
I'm very, very excited about being involved with the team that put the bid together, and now has the job of implementing what I think will be a wonderful Games. It's a huge challenge, one I'm looking forward to. I will enjoy renewing, I rather fancy